If you are a business owner, public figure, or in high level of leadership, and you want to curate an abundant, balanced life by uncovering the blocks that stand in your way and tune into your own wisdom, you are in the right place. In this podcast, we talk about personal and professional tools and strategies so that you can elevate your potential, expand your impact, and enjoy your life. I'm your host, Angela Williams. I'm a licensed therapist, coach, guide, speaker, educator, avid beachgoer, and I've helped thousands of clients achieve personal growth and transformation. Let's dive in. Hey, and welcome to the Bigger, Braver Life Show podcast, season 2. Season 1 was absolutely fire, so make sure to catch up with all of those episodes ASAP if you haven't already. With season 2 comes even more focused guidance and support to help you live your mission and vision and achieve your bigger, braver life. In this episode, I'm going to tell you more about my mission and vision and inspiration for this podcast and the work that I get to do, common challenges I've seen for my clients and myself, and how to get started with rewriting that story, and also more of what's to come in season 2. My mission is to empower smart, high-achieving, successful leaders who have influence and want to make a positive impact in this world to achieve their purpose with clarity, alignment, ease, and intention. This is for you who are visionaries, who want to create that ripple of impact on this generation and into future generations for good. This is a movement of healing, learning, growth, of harnessing your influence, and using your power for positive outcomes. I want all of you high-achieving impact makers to know that you're more than just your achievements, that you can get the mind, body, soul alignment that you want, and you can live your version of a good and balanced life. For those of you who are new to me or the show, my name's Angela Marie Williams. I am a licensed clinical social worker and coach and guide to change makers, leaders, and public figures. And growing up, I saw the generational impacts of scarcity, trauma, untreated mental illness all around. I also saw generational giftings and lessons being passed down, and really was trying to put all of this information together. I knew deep down that there had to be a better way to live, a better way to be, and a better way to grow. So I've been fortunate to have really close relationships with both of my grandmothers. They are both inspirations to me. They both helped to raise me and gave me a lot to think about when it came to being a woman and addressing challenges and adversity in their lives. And I look at them and I have learned so many different things from their experiences, and they lived like two completely different lives. So it was so very interesting to have that juxtaposition of both of them in my life. And when I think about generational gifts and generational limitations, these are the stories that I draw from. And it's just so fascinating to me. I've always been fascinated by how two people can grow up in the same time frame and have such very different outcomes for their lives. And particularly my grandma, who passed when I was younger, she was such a loving caregiver with a challenging story that I grew up seeing. And I believe that this really helped me to become passionate about and pursue my passion of helping others to heal and grow. She grew up in a completely different time where there were a lot more gender limitations and lack of access and lack of support. And there was a lot of political factors. Wars were going on. Women's roles were more limited to the home, and they were still fighting for equal rights. I think technically it wasn't until 1974 when the Equal Credit Opportunity Act passed that women were granted the right to open their own bank account in the U.S. And that's really not that long ago. And so it's really thinking about the larger societal limitations that put women in these spaces where they had to figure it out. And a lot of times that led them to be stuck. in situations. So there was a lot that impacted and shaped the way that she lived her life. And I just wonder what her life would have been like had she had even more support and nurturing and guidance. And what it really was more of the surviving and doing the best that she could. So that really stuck out to me as I grew up and watched this person that I love so much. I think we all have those people or moments in our lives where we are truly impacted and changed in a way that inspires us to do something different and bigger and braver with our lives. And for me, that was seeing my surroundings, my friends, family, and loving them and seeing challenges and wanting to help people so that they didn't have to go through those same challenges and that they could really tap into their strengths. So this led me to getting my clinical licensure and starting my own therapy practice. In 2020, I also added on a coaching business where I'm able to use many of my strengths and my trauma-informed evidence-based techniques that I learned in my education as a therapist to help my high-achieving clients tap into their potential and maximize their strengths. I believe in providing impactful, holistic experiences to not only change your mindset, but that allow you to fully embody the beliefs and emotions that you want to express. I am truly grateful, honestly, for the opportunity to have been able to help so many thousands, actually, of individuals learn, grow, and become inspired to reach their next level of success and transformation in all the roles that I've maintained. So I've been in practice for over 14 years in the fields of social work, psychology, research, and education. My vision paves the way for you so that you can master an emotional intelligence, become more of yourself, break those unhelpful patterns, and find more joy in life. Because let's face it, when you're happy, you can do more of what you're passionate about. I'm here to share evidence-based and intuitive-based information and strategies to support you on your own self-development journey. Here's what I know. Leaders have different needs and desires. This relates to the vision that you have for your life and career and the big picture impact that you want to make, all the way to the pressures that come with being in a role that's visible, responsible, and accountable all of the time. I know that transformation doesn't have to be this long, hard, drawn-out process. It can actually feel lighter with the right support and guidance. I think a lot of times we see or we hear or we're told that transformation and growth are difficult and heavy. And while it can and does sometimes feel that way, especially if we're doing a lot of that work to heal wounds, if we are experiencing grief or deeply ingrained pains, there are ways to get that support from someone who's highly skilled. Typically, when we are in the space of getting healed, when we're dealing with really heavy stuff, that is where we work with a therapist. And typically, when we're working with a coach, it is to help us to elevate and look toward the future and achieve our goals. There are ways to collapse time and support a more fluid experience of integrating the past with the present and future, which I'm going to share more in depth about this season. And if you have already done that foundational work, if you've already healed a lot of past trauma or wounds or pains, and you want to continue your growth journey, there are ways that we can collapse time and get you there more efficiently. The other thing to note about your growth journey, all of our growth journey, is that our stories and experiences can be stored not just in our subconscious, but in our bodies. And this may be the stuff that's causing resistance and holding you back from your next level of growth and greatness. So paying attention to all of the things that come up, whether that's physical sensations, emotions, thoughts, old patterns. Sometimes we are not aware of that, but paying more attention can help you to tune in. So think about that as you are on your journey. I fully believe the biggest role that I have and that we all have is self-leadership. So what that means for me is walking the talk and actually leading the charge of my own self-development, which I invest in all of the time, whether that's coaching, therapy, courses, conversation, books, podcasts. anything you can think of. We all have to start with ourselves to be able to impact others in the way that we intend. I think a bigger, braver life is what us leaders intend to set out on, at least at some point in our journey, whether we start that for ourselves or expand that to our families, our communities, or for the world. There is an intentionality behind our work and our words. I also know that for a lot of successful folks, a lot of high achievers, I know that you thought reaching a certain level of success or achievement would be kind of like waving this magic wand and that everything would be different. It'd be easier, it'd be automatically great. But here's the thing, it's not automatic. Sure, more status, more money, and access allows you to get more of what you want, but to have happiness and peace and sustainability and true internal transformation and ease requires you to think bigger and braver. So one of the most common issues I see with leaders, business owners, public figures, and impact makers is that the story is similar. You've spent a lot of time hustling and overextending yourself for the success that you want, but feel exhausted, depleted, or something's missing. You're not feeling truly whole. There's so much noise, pressure, and demands on your time, energy, and space. And your definition of success, in theory, included health and happiness. But when that isn't truly factored into the original plan sustainably or well maintained regularly, it often gets missed and is the first thing to go. So the key is going to be coming back to yourself and redefining that vision and that version of success and internal peace as much as you need to, which we're going to talk about more how to do in this season of the podcast. Another common issue that I see is that people, whether they are celebrities, business owners, leaders, honestly, it's not limited to those groups. It really could be anybody. But I think we often think that more money will solve a lot of problems. Again, more money can mean more security, more access, etc., which is great. But having more money can really enhance who we are, our core beliefs, for better or worse. And this is where we really need to dig in and do the work. It can also bring up a lot of old wounds and money trauma and stories that we have that may be subconscious that can feel when it comes up like, hey, we've already dealt with this, or maybe it's new to us. And it can feel overwhelming and off-putting, honestly. The key here is that we don't automatically improve with each level. This growth and healing and intentionality comes from the thought work, the focus, and the self-awareness. So this bravery to admit and to truly explore what's going on in the depths of our mind, body, and soul. So the action that you're taking right now of listening to the show, educating yourself, doing the inner work, and seeking supportive guidance can have so many positive ripple impacts. As you do the inner work, reflect, learn, and continue to grow, you can have a better relationship with a partner because you're not so stressed out, expand to a mindset of more ease and abundance, get to live with more sustainable success instead of feeling overextended, invest in your own joy, have more energy and dynamic connections. You can take the pressure off of yourself to perform perfectly, be more authentic, tend to yourself with love and grace, and just take the action you need. You can shift into a different perspective and mindset with your goals in focus and do that in a way that feels healthy. And you can step into the type of leader you truly want to be in this world, the kind who wields their power and influence for good. These are examples of real outcomes from clients that I've worked with. I had a client come to me knowing that she wanted more to expand a business that was her true passion and help other women shift their thinking that's come from years of patriarchal socialization. She noticed her self-doubt kept her stuck in inaction. Here's the thing about this. When you have a big goal, a big vision, a larger purpose and mission that you want to move forward, it's not going to go away. It's going to keep coming back to you, and you're going to keep coming back to it. So my client knew that, and she was willing to do the brain, body, and soul work to increase confidence, become more comfortable with making bigger money, fully believing in the results that she could provide. Now she's taken massive action in pursuit of this big goal. I want you to reflect on this. What actions are you taking to advance your mission, and what would need to change to eliminate the barriers in your way? Thank you for listening, and make sure that you are subscribed to the Bigger Braver Life show so you can get the latest updates. We're going to have so many great episodes and guests this season. I'm so very excited. You can also get on the Brain Soul Communique newsletter with all of the latest personal and professional development in addition to the podcast at brainsoulcoaching.com.